Friday again. How you doing there, Southern Ontario sports fans? Thank you so much for checking out the Sportsline Podcast on the CHCH and Parrot Media platform. I'm Bubba O'Neil. Southern Ontario sports is our thing because we are producing world-class athletes, executives, and teams. On that note, we're digging into the Canadian Junior Football League, and in particular, the Hamilton Hurricanes, who have reached the OFC Championship. To talk about Saturday's monumental matchup, let's bring in head coach Barry Emo. Hey, Barry, how are you, partner?
I'm doing great, Bubba. How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm not as good as you. I mean, you guys are in the championship. How does that feel?
We are. It's incredible. It's incredible. I still don't think I've come down from last week's emotional win versus London. It was quite an experience and one of the most exciting games in the 36 years that I've been coaching football, to be part of, quite frankly.
Why was that game so wild, and why does that stick in your memory as one of the better ones you've ever been involved in?
Yeah, it was a back and forth game. Both teams were very good football teams. Both teams, wanted to win that game. Both teams came out and played physical and dominant from the start. We were fortunate. We got out to a pretty good lead right out of the gate. We were up 20-8. That kind of carried through right into the fourth quarter. London, like I said, good football team, kept fighting back, clawed their way back in, and eventually took the lead. And we're up 23-20 with about a minute and 20 seconds left in the game. We got the ball back, we're able to drive, got into field goal position. The field goal was blocked. We thought game over, and we were then informed that there were flags on the field and that London had been charged with too many men on the field.
Oh!
We had an opportunity to re-kick. We re-kicked, and we were able to even the score, go to overtime. London had the ball first and drove. We were able to intercept a pass on second down, which ended their series. We lined up to kick a field goal. My instructions to my kicker was, hey, just boot this thing. Don't even avoid the goalpost, avoid the field goal, boot it through the back of the end zone, and let's get out of here with the Canadian Rouge. And that's what we did.
Well, hold on a second. There's a certain commissioner at the highest level of Canadian football that may not be happy with you right now.
There might not be, but don't change anything. Don't change a thing. The Canadian game is good without the Rouge. We're not here today.
As you would tell me, and I would talk to any coach that reaches a championship level, that it's a journey. It's a journey that starts out with training camp. And as we kind of look at the first half of the season, you know what? There were some ups and some downs. I would say that, there was a tough game against London at that point as well, too. Was there not?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We came into the 2025 season following a 1-7 record last year. Not a good season at all by any stretch. And, we recruited very well. We brought in some new coaches and some different schemes, some different wrinkles and things of that nature. And, right from the get-go, this team was dialed in and focused. They faced adversity. We had a tough one right out of the gate against London. Said, they're great team down there. And London brought it back. They won that game 16-9. We had a couple opportunities in that game. We had a touchdown call back, a couple of other things. But, in general, that was a tough one. Sioux College gave us a tough game up in the Sioux. And then obviously St. Clair Saints, who we've got coming up here in the very near future here is going to be a tough test for us, for sure.
Well, so as we look at that, and I put that at the bottom there just to notify what was going on, because that's officially the first game of the second half, really, of the 8-game regular season schedule. Yeah. And as you see, the score certainly not in favor of you guys. St. Clair had really an unbelievable game. If I remember correctly, they had 3 punt returns for touchdowns. Yeah. What happened in that contest?
Yeah, we weren't very good. Bottom line. Taking nothing away from St. Clair, it's a good football team down there. They've got a good program being run through the school, which gives them obviously some advantages that some of the community-based programs don't have. But we've got to be able to go out there and when we play these guys and lace them up and be able to play. And unfortunately, we had a lot of miscues, a lot of mistakes that night. A lot of them, as you pointed out, came off of our special teams. In fact, it was 20 28 points in all. There was the three returns for touchdowns, and then there was a blocked punt, I believe it was, that was recovered and returned for a touchdown. So we gave up 28 points, on special teams, and that's tough. I mean, that's tough at any level of football to overcome. And we were just able to get any kind of rhythm in that game or any kind of flow. And as it turned out, St. Clair, they capitalized. Good football team's going to capitalize, and when you make mistakes, they're going to capitalize, and that's exactly what they did.
Is it tough playing on their home field?
Oh yeah, I mean, they've got a great stadium down there. They got a nice stadium. They get well attended and all the rest of it. And I mean, like I said, they're a great football team. I mean, you're playing against an offensive line that's the CFL caliber as far as the size is concerned. These guys are all 300 plus pounds.
Wow.
And they've got a lot of their, they're at the skill level positions in that receiver, quarterback, running back in that. They're deep. They've got a lot of talent, and they've got a great program down there for sure.
When I look at that, obviously, it tells me that it is a good program, because I believe they had the OFC awards that were recently handed out. I believe there's 10 awards, and 6 of them were won by, St. Clair Saints. Now, you've kind of talked about them and explained that they are a good team, but does that fire you up that you guys didn't win one?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, individual awards are great. I tell the players all the time, I'm not really interested in stats. I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in one stat only, and that's W's and L's. And, as far as it firing us up, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And if they're the best, then that's what we've got to do in order for us to take that next level. And they're one of the top teams in Canadian junior football. Like, did they win last year?
They're
number 1 right now.
Yeah, they're ranked
defending
number 1.
national champs.
Okay, so defending champs, they're on a long win streak, but you guys are coming on strong. When you take a look at your team, what's been the steady improvement? And I think you need to remind people as well, too, how far you guys have come from going back to even where you were as a squad last year. But also, as we get into that, what has been the improvement with the steady improvement with your club?
Well, I think we had some new wrinkles. We had a different offensive coordinator this year with Matt Garner coming in, took over from Coach Michonne, who was our offensive OC for the last 2 years here. Matt brought in some, different philosophy, different style of football that he brought in from an offensive perspective, and we were able to. The players that we had executed well under that system, and we were able to, get a lot of good offensive work out of our offense this year, and we were able to sustain some drives. And that where last year a lot of our drives were 2 and out, 2 and out, 2 and out, 2 and out, and our defense played a lot of football last year, and they spent a lot of time on the field, and that's not a recipe for success a lot of times, and it certainly wasn't a recipe for success last year. So the fact that we can offensively sustain drives, we can score points this year. We struggled to score points last year. We struggled just as much on the defensive side of the ball to stop points last year. I think we were pretty much dead last in the country on defense and fairly close to that on offense, where this year we're in the top 5 on offense and top 5 on defense statistically in the country.
Okay, well that's great, but obviously the coaching had something to do about it. But there's some stars on the field. Do you want to talk about some of the stars that you guys have?
Oh, we got some stars. I mean, it starts with the guy slinging the ball for us, and that's Kairos Sam, great young guy. I mean, I got nothing but respect for him. His demeanor, the calmness he has in the huddle, the calmness and the fun approach he takes to the game. I watch him a lot of times in practice, and the odd time the snaps off or whatever, and he just laughs as the ball's kind of bobbling around. He just kind of laughs and gets up and throws it and makes throws a dart down the field and just gets back to work. I mean, he's a great young man. He's done a great job for us, and really pleased with him. He's got some great targets with guys like Devin Kwame, who was an all-star this year, league all-star this year as a receiver, and Aiden Gago and Zach Pereira, who's had an absolutely fantastic year. Robbie Pereira as well, Wes Weens, and I could go on and on and on. Jack Wilson. I mean, there's so many guys that have contributed this year, and we've done a great job. The offensive coach coaches have done a fantastic job of identifying and being able, to move the ball around. Like we're getting, guys, we're getting 8, 9, guys involved in the offense, passes to guys in the offense, 8, 9 guys, and that's huge. That's a lot of times why, some of our guys may not be as high statistically is because so many guys contribute. Right. And it's no different on our defense. We've got so many different guys on the defensive side of the ball, from our middle linebacker, Hayden Paul, right through our defensive line and several other of our players as well, Bubba. I mean, these guys have just done an absolutely fantastic job this year of shutting down the run, getting pressure on the pass. Defensively, we've been very sound and been really pleased with what's happened. And you're right. It is a lot to do with the coaching and the staff that I have. I'm extremely blessed. Those guys make us great. They do. They make us great. They're fantastic. They're diligent in their work ethic and efforts that they put in, their knowledge of the game, everything else. I'm blessed to have the staff I have and to work with them all. And quite frankly, the players, like I said, the adversity that they've overcome year in and year out this year has been just, over the top.
And I'm glad you said that too, because I think that's important to talk about the buy-in with what you're trying to teach these kids. And you guys have done such a great job. You don't get to a championship level from being a team that didn't even qualify for the playoffs last year to where you are right now. But there also has to be what I would say a trust within each other. You've played the game. You've been in these situations, but there has to be a trust within each other as a team. And I'm going to take the coaches completely out of it. Maybe even I'll go as far as we love playing with each other, right? Yeah. Are you getting that from this team?
Oh yeah. It was funny, after the London game, I walked on the practice field on Tuesday night, our first night back since the game on Saturday, and I was greeted by a number of different players, all with their hair dyed some platinum blonde type color. So something they all decided to do for this game, and I'm kind of worried because I know there was some of them going to be doing it in the parking lot last night with a case of water and one of those kits from Shoppers Drug Mart or something. So I'm not sure how that one was going to turn out, but it'll be interesting to see tomorrow when we attend our team breakfast.
So
these guys have a great time. They have a great bond together. They have a lot of fun playing. You see it in the locker room. You see it on the field in practice. You see it, on the bus on the way to games and all the rest of it. They enjoy being there. I mean, so much so. I mean, we had a 75-man roster at the start of the year, and for playoffs we have to get down to 50-man. So there's some players, unfortunately, that you have to have those tough conversations with. And, those are never easy conversations to have. I had to have those. But you know what? The true testament was seeing them show up to practice, and coming out, even though they're not dressing for games and they're not even they can't even travel to games because we're limited on the bus as far as number of seats and et cetera. Those gentlemen still all showed up to practice and worked, like the saying goes, iron sharpens iron. And that's exactly what we're seeing from these guys, So they come out and they help and they work and they get the guys ready. And that impresses me, and it tells me that they want to be there. They bought in. They understand that the game and the team atmosphere, it's more than just one individual. It's about us.
It's a great thing going on that you got there. I'll ask you this. Have you prepared? I don't even know what your approach will be when you speak to these guys minutes before the game. Is there the old win it for the Gipper speech, or do you even need to say anything?
Win it for the Gipper. Yeah, there's always those kinds of speeches. The guys get a kind of a kick out of a couple of different lines I have, and I'm not going to share those ones here. But, there's a couple of them that they get a kick out of, and those ones I'm sure will be echoed tomorrow night inside St. Clair Stadium before we take the field. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, like I said to them last night, there's not a lot left to be said at this stage of the game. We've everything's been said, everything's been done. We're where we are. We're where we intended to be at the outset of this season, 10 months ago, whatever it is now, 10 months ago, I guess, back in January when we started our strength and conditioning sessions, and have been going nonstop since then. So the fact we are where we are, this was kind of a planned destiny for us. I mean, a lot of things had to fall into place in order for us to get here. We've been the recipient of some things as well, some bad calls here and there that have helped us along the way. But that's football and that's sport, quite frankly, and we have to deal with those. But we're proud of where we are. I'm proud. I'm so proud. I am over the top proud of the effort of the coaches, the executive, the entire staff, the entire team for what they've brought, the demeanor they've brought, the effort level that they've brought, and the willingness to continue to battle and fight no matter what. This team will not lie down. Even when we lost that last game to St. Clair 68-7, I can tell you, those guys knew they were in a football game. Regardless of the score, our guys kept playing and playing and playing, and that'll be no different than it will be on Saturday night.
When you guys win this game, you're going to lift a trophy, but it doesn't end there. There's still a couple more games still to be played.
There's still a couple more games to be played. Yeah, we're gonna after we raise that trophy, we'll get back to practice on Tuesday night, and God only knows what kind of hairstyles I'll get met with then. But we'll be heading to BC next week for another matchup out there, more than likely against the Okanagan Sun.
Well, that's something to certainly look forward. Two-part question to end it here, and I'll end on the positive. If you guys don't win this game, what will be the reason?
We just outmatched. I mean, quite frankly, we're just outmatched. It won't be for lack of effort. It won't be for lack of coaching. It won't be for anything other than, hey, the more talented team, the team that put forth the better effort is the team that won.
When you win this game, what will be the reasons why?
Heart, and heart. And that's what this team has, is heart. It starts with heart. Football is a game of passion. You can't play this game without playing it with the passion. I mean, I've been around this game a long time, and I know one thing about football, and that is it starts in here. If you believe in it, you're going to achieve it. I know that's an old saying and that, but you know what? It is so true. I've seen that countless times over. I've been part of those games where, you have to slay a giant, and that's what we're calling this. We're going off to slay a giant, right? These guys are 8-0. They're close, as close to an OUA sport team as we're going to find at this level of football. And, they're well managed out there, and, through the athletic program. And that's what gives them a huge advantage. But you know what? Our guys are gritty. Our guys are Hamilton tough. Our guys are Hamilton proud. And we're going to play like that on Saturday night. We're bringing the lumber to St. Clair.
Looking forward to it, Coach. Good luck to you. I know the game is available on the Canadian Junior Football page for those that are interested in watching as well, too. I'll say it right here. You guys have done so well in terms of representing the community on and off the field, which I know is very, very important to you. But right now, it's all time to put it together on the football field. And we certainly look forward to chatting to you about it. And let's just, as you said, bring it home.
Bringing it home. This one's for Ted. We got this.
Right on. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, Bubba. Always a pleasure, sir.
Always a pleasure, sir. That's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And if you've just seen and heard, we love talking sports. If you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote, the Sportsline podcast want to hear from you. Please hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. And if you have something to say, we always appreciate your comments. For the wonderful people that make the Sportsline podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you real soon.